Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic here. We about to react to that Hunter x Hunter greatness. I have these headphones around my neck. I'm not sure why. Probably because I was listening to music and I was cleaning a bit earlier. So, it is what it is. But that's not here nor there. Welcome to my live reaction for Hunter x Hunter Chapter 386. All right, initial thoughts. All right, this is basically like what I do. I don't sort of consider the stuff that I do to be like this, like, in-depth review or anything like that. It's more than just me sort of, talking about how I feel about the chapter, like after like that first read. All right, that's why it's always initial thoughts and not like a review or in-depth review or anything like that. At some point, I want to get back to that, but I think I have to like really sort of pick and choose which manga I'm gonna do that for. More than likely, Hunter x Hunter will be like a manga that I decide to do that for. Like I'll come out with reviews, actual videos, in terms of like stream, well, which will sort of include, be a stream, but it'll be like a review as opposed to just like a live reaction and all that stuff. Because I know there are people that watch this content that know that, like, I started with reviews. Like that's what I started with. It wasn't like I didn't do any live reactions or anything like that. So I want to get back to that at some point. I just got to make sure I pick the manga that I really want to review and I really want to go in depth with while I'm reading them. And I think obviously Hunter x Hunter is going to be one of them. Promised Neverland might be another. And then I also have to think about what those others will be. Like, but I know the Promised Neverland will be one. Hunter x Hunter will be another. So we'll figure that out. But let's get to the chapter, yo. Let's get to the chapter. All right. I know, there's illegal scans came out today. So, certain things will always get spoiled. If you are like, I think if you're a YouTuber, if you're on Twitter, if you're doing something like that, it's gonna happen, But I do think that like rest of chapters are always interesting, right? Maybe there's like one thing that you get spoiled on, but there are other things that happen. All right, it's not all about the one thing that happened in the chapter. So it doesn't bother me. Don't worry about that. I'm good. I'm chilling. But I'll get into like all the other stuff in terms of like my plans and stuff. I might do like a channel stream too. Might do that after I do this. All right. So Hunter x Hunter, y'all. Let's do it. All right. So there was no blood, no luminol reaction. Right. The bottom line is you didn't shoot the prince. None of that was real. The fresh blood from his head all over the floor, his body, his twitching mouth and fingers, the gurgling in his throat. But the fact is, he's alive. And what I thought I saw wasn't real. Was it all an illusion? But I did fire my gun. What part? How much of it was real? And what was an illusion? Woo-wee! Hunter x Hunter greatness, y'all. Hunter x Hunter greatness. I love stuff like that. When you set that up and you know that Togashi is going to answer that question, right? It's not like, oh, I don't know what was real and what was an illusion, and then we never figured out as readers and we don't get any information on that stuff. Like, this is going to be resolved. This question is going to be resolved. It's going to be answered. We're going to know, and it's going to have to do with a Nen ability. Like, we're going to know. That's one thing I love about Hunter x Hunter. We generally always know. Okay. I need some time to think about this. Hashtag save, pray for Theta. I gotta put that out. At some point I'm gonna like put that hashtag out. Pray for Theta. Morning. Day 9, Tier 2, Justice Bureau. Get any sleep? Here. When can I get back on duty? We'll see. It depends on how cooperative you are. Keeney left a suicide note saying he acted alone in the prince's escape attempt. It's likely we'll settle on that explanation. But I'm pondering an alternate possibility. Few other princes were impressed by your performance and want to invite you to their suites. Bruh. Melody, of course. Melody is that woman, yo. Melody is dope. She's one of the best characters like to come out of Hunter x Hunter. Love her. She's great. All right. Awesome. Okay. Maybe someone among them is thinking the same thing I am. I'm being held to protect me. I'm being held to protect me from the dangerous princes. So at least it's true that they're in impartial judicial branch. Okay. Tell me in detail what you did the other day, and then I'll ask you some questions. And Princes Kacho and Fugetsu, they're also here to answer questions. They said Kini tried to force them onto the lifeboat under threat. Besides the note, there isn't anything to remove that the suspicion that the princes plotted their own escape. But there's no evidence it was their idea either. So proving it will be difficult. But I can be persistent. I'll take my time to question them thoroughly. Thank you. I'll use this time to consider my next moves. What's Melody gonna play next? I don't know. We're moving on. Okay, we shift. Normal pulse. Nothing unusual in the brain waves. According to the numbers, he's just asleep. So Sumidori's soul possessed. Okay, that's what I thought happened. Okay, so Sumidori's soul possessed Shikaku's body. Yeah, but it doesn't feel different from my own body. And where's Shikaku? Swapped out somewhere else, or in the same body? We need to find out. When I fire an arrow into target A, one of our souls possesses and takes over A. So what happens to A's consciousness or soul? There are 4 possibilities. 1, death equals gone, right? Death, right? Which is basically that soul's gone. 2, switched bodies with Sumidori. 3, coexist within Shikaku's body. 4, somewhere or someone else. Okay, so that 4th one was very interesting. So it's like what could happen is like, let's say like there's like, right, particular, let's say like target, and then there's another soul. And if the soul like enters like that particular target's body, then the soul that was initially in that target's body may just get displaced, right, into some random body, which would be wild. That's wild, because I feel like that's not something that Hulkenberg would want, you know, for like people that follow him, and I feel like he probably cares about like the people that are around him, and that he's you know, and that vouch for him and all these things. So for like a soul to just like randomly get displaced into another body or somewhere else or some object or whatever, that's like absurd. Dangerous ability, which, you know, in some ways that's like, it's a bit worse. Not worse. Well, I don't know if it's worse than that. I want to go that far, but it's pretty bad. All right. For now, there's no way to prove or disprove any of these. If it's number 3 and Shikaku's soul remains in this body, it seems I pushed him out and he remains buried in the subconscious. It'll be difficult to verify 1 and 4, but if Sumidori's brainwaves change, we can confirm 2, right, of the switched bodies. That someone is in there. We need to find out. I talked to Father, accepted my fate, and steeled myself for what I had to do. This ability awakened in me right after. I'm confident that this is the ability I need to win the succession battle. Keep in mind as I share with you my hypothesis. Okay, so that ability like awakened then. It wasn't like he always had it. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So he's erasing like all the sort of scenarios and stuff off the board. I see. It's possible. Of course, this is only a gut feeling I have since I don't know how Nen works. All right. I need an expert on Nen to back me up on this if possible. But this process is absolutely necessary to understand this ability. Sumidori, will you do this for me? Of course, with pleasure. Thank you. One thing I love about this, that's really, really key to note is like, there are certain people that just right? They just have a knack for Nen. One, because of like kind of like who they are, right? And particularly Nen battles and just using it, right? And I'll talk about this a bit later, but I just want to kind of keep reading. But I like this development here. I like that again. Certain things were explained fairly quickly. We didn't have to wait 80 chapters to get an explanation on his ability and how the Nen works and blah blah blah, and even try to figure that out. And I like that. All right, let's move on. Finally, we're back with ninth. No, not ninth. That's Hulkenberg. This prince, I can't remember like his number, but he's the one. The one that's like really into like drugs and hallucinogenics and stuff like that. Can't remember his name. But he's with Basho. There it is again. What? The rumbling of aura. It's next door. Ninth Prince Hulkenberg? Yeah, whatever ability it is, it's serious trouble. Stay there, Your Highness. Who's there? First Prince Benjamin's soldier. It's news to me. Ask what he wants. May I help you? Long live His Highness, First Prince Benjamin. Bro, what? What? Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. So, right, Hulkenberg's guard took one of Hulkenberg's people that he trusts took over. Right, what's his name of his body? I'll go back. Took over Shikaku's body, who is a soldier for First Prince Benjamin, and he just went up to the room, the prince that Basho was guarding. He went up to that room and just shot himself, bruh. And he said, "Long live His Highness First Prince Benjamin," and then boom, son. And they got up the door. What was that? Shot fired in the hallway. Probably the First Prince's soldier. Hey, Rice. Or Rice, I don't know how to pronounce, but I'm going with Rice because just as Rice. What did he do? He shot himself in the head, bruh. The rumbling stopped. What was that anyway? First Prince Benjamin, Shikaku committed suicide, no doubt due to Hulkenberg's ability. Hulkenberg. He leaps to the top of the blacklist. Yes, he's become the most dangerous man. Summon Conjadol back from room 1007. Make him remember everything. Huh? Ninth Prince Hulkenberg. What's your post and service number? Yo, wow. All right, so we're back to Kurapika. This is a very good chapter. By the way, very good chapter. Kurapika. He's talking with Bill and the other dude. It clearly wasn't the even side of the hall. I bet it's 9, 7, or 5. Can you rule out the third Prince Zhang Lei? Not totally, but it's not his guardian spirit beast's aura. As someone who can't feel it, all I can do is nod accordingly. You guys are on high alert. Was it that dangerous? A large amount of energy instantaneously vanished the way a balloon bursts, phenomenon that often happens when emitters use their ability. It's not difficult for an emitter attack to penetrate physical barriers. Who is attacking whom and how? Not knowing is the most dangerous thing. Come on, son. This is what the chapter is all about, right? It's like information is essential. Okay? This is one of the things that separates Hunter x Hunter from all these other battle shonen. Again, information is essential. It is essential to Hunter x Hunter and to everything about it. Everything. Okay? Truly. Anyway, so we have 1 week left. Maybe not every shonen, but maybe not every battle shonen, but a lot of battle shonen. Okay? Anyway, so we have 1 week left. Everyone's starting to question repeating the same training over and over. Are we really going to be able to use Nen? We'll move to the next step tomorrow. True. I should get started. So he's using the water divination test. Whoa, the water changed color and the leaf is spinning. Is this an ability? This shows that my ability is of the specialist type, called water divination. This determines what type of nen you have. Oh, Kurapika dope, man. Kurapika smart, right? He's like, okay, I'm gonna use a specialist ability. That way people can't even figure out what my ability might be, right? Because the specialist ability is just so varied and ridiculous that it doesn't really help you to know, oh, this person is a specialist, so I can figure out what his ability is, right? Rather, if Kurapika used the water divination test when he wasn't under like Emperor time, right? Then it'd be a hot mess. People would figure out that he's a conjurer, and then they'd be able to figure out that it had to do with his chains and all that. You know what I mean? Very, very. I mean, Kurapika's smart, man. Kurapika's smart. I'm going back. Okay. Yeah, okay. It can't be used with those who can't produce enough. It can't be used with those who can't produce enough aura. But some of you are showing promising signs. Latiolus. What? You've been quickest to learn. Let's start with you. Oh, okay. Clever. By picking someone unexpected, he's subtly implying Nen talent. He's subtly implying Nen talent has nothing to do with gender or physical strength. Now the muscle heads will feel compelled to focus more on training. Nice. I like that a lot. However, ability types shouldn't be revealed to anyone else, though the impact is small for a specialist like me who remains ambiguous. Kurapika. Kurapika. I love you, man. I do. I don't like I love this is like something that I do love about Kurapika. He's not one of my favorite, he's like my least favorite out of all three of Gon, Killua, and Leodio. I also include Hisoka because I feel like Hisoka is very much so he's also to me, he is also a protagonist. He is very essential, right? The only time I can remember that he wasn't involved in anything was the Chimera Ant arc, and that's fine because we had two protagonists who were involved in that. You know what I mean? So it's he wasn't really necessary for that, right? But to me, Hisoka is very much so a big, important character that is almost always present, in all and every single Hunter x Hunter arc, right? And his otherwise Togashi would have just killed him off and it would have been the end of it, you know. But the fact that he was revived says a lot about how important he is to the story and what Togashi, and more importantly, what Togashi wants to sort of say about whatever through him. Okay. Letting your type be known to the enemy is as bad as telling your opponent what you're going to throw when you play rock, paper, scissors to determine who will go first in the game. We will do it in another room to keep it confidential. Who will oversee the test? Only Bill and I. I can't agree to this. We can't tell if it's really the test if it's behind closed doors. If you tell us the criteria in advance, why do you even need to be there? Basically, you're right. But let me be frank. I promised you'd learn Nen in 2 weeks. We won't be doing the divination the usual way, but in a way that requires our assistance. Bill and I will attend. That's non-negotiable. I said the impact is small, but that's only comparatively. There is still considerable risk to myself. I assert that information on you is payment, just rewards. Furthermore, there's only one reason for us, the young Prince Wobble's bodyguards, to teach Nen. That is to boost the lower-ranked prince's guards with information and power, to prolong the stalemate. Consequently, it doesn't make sense for us to become a threat to you. If you remain unconvinced, we call it quits here. Kurapika just marionette doing a thing, man. Kurapika's doing a thing, but Kurapika's also in some very real danger, and that's what I like about it, right? In this instance, Kurapika's hey, we got this. But remember, not too many chapters ago, Kurapika was I might die in 2 weeks. You know, if I keep doing this, if I keep pulling this nonsense with Emperor Time, and I keep letting, and I don't learn as much information as humanly possible about everyone else. He admitted to it. Quite refreshing. It's what we all knew. Still, it's significant that we identified him as a specialist. Want to swap out with Rihan? Rihan's ability should be used to eliminate the prince's beasts. After 8th Prince Saleh Saleh, he moved on to monitor 5th Prince to Tubepa, right? It seems to take after Tubepa's temperament. It's being cautious and refusing to show itself. If we think of it as Rihan suppressing Tubepa's beast, he's being perfectly effective. That sounds like an excuse for yourself. What about the analysis for 14th Prince Wobble's beast? It was due yesterday. It's not showing itself, so there's nothing I can do. We don't know if the host is too young or if it's a counterattacking type or something else. It's still the first week. It's not our move yet to make. This is so enlightening. A lesson in strategic patience. What? You're applying the 4 exercises already? Yeah. Now I have to shorten my Zetsu response time as much as I can. What? In only 1 week? I'm trying to get it down to the blink of an eye, but this might take some time. He mastered this much? Not awakened by force, but by his own devices? What should I do? Time me from when I close my eyes to when I open them. Once it's less than a second, then we spar. He instinctively knows he needs combat to go above a certain point. Yo, buying time with him will be rough. All right. By the way, I've been surprised at my own change of heart. A two-faced woman can be pretty cute. Yo. To be continued. Yo. Okay, so to me, it's very clear that one in Hunter x Hunter chapter 386 and blah. All right. Very clear to me that like he knows like they to try to kill him. I mean, I think that's very clear. One because this is like when you read stories and you reach a certain point, you know what I mean, with stories, like this is the type of writing where like instinctively you just know, right, from like experience and all that this character knows something and it's probably related to you know, what we've seen in like a previous like chapter or setting or whatever, right? So this is very clear. This right, a two-faced woman can be pretty cute, right? Like we understand that. Like he's talking about Theta, like period. He's not talking about anybody else, right? You could kind of be like, maybe he's talking about Melody. No. I'm like, no, he's not talking about Melody. He's talking about Theta. That's it. Period. Okay. So now this sort of tells us, right, one about, at least to me, a bit about like, I think his specialist, like I feel like he's already he's already right on one unlocked like his ability, or he has this ability to like do some wild stuff in terms of making people see particular things or whatever, you know. So it's really, really, really quite interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing again where this is going to go, how his ability is going to be utilized in battle, right, in sparring, you know. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. This guy is very, very dangerous. Already, he's very dangerous. This is the type of stuff, like, right, when you think about it, it's like, man, of course he'd be the type of person to be able to like maybe show someone like an illusion or desire or whatever it is, right? Like these are the types of abilities that like creepy people tend to have, right? Some psychological stuff, you know, illusionary stuff, hallucinogenic stuff, whatever. This is the type of stuff that creepy like serial killer like villains like tend to sort of have, these types of abilities that are used for like torture and you know, and above all else, right, and killing, right, eventually, you know what I mean? So really interested in seeing where this goes. Give me 1 second. I just gotta see who's here. What's up? Let me see. Yo, what's good? What's good, Daigo? What's good, Shotty? What's good, Killer? Nah, I always react to chapters on Mondays. Like on Mondays, like after Viz comes out, Just because I like the Viz translations for Hunter x Hunter particularly. But also because like I always just react to Viz. Like I don't react to like scans or anything like that. So I know it's already out, and I know that I already know that. But you know, and it's like no. Like when going back to sort of like going back to like sort of the stuff that happened earlier in the chapter, because I want to go there. Like, right, the stuff with Melody, that's going to be interesting. We know that that's going to be coming up, right? We know that's going to be important, obviously. So I'm not like saying, oh, you know, we didn't really learn anything. No, like what we've learned is that like eventually Melody is probably going to have to go to one of the prince's rooms. It will either be the fourth prince, right? Because that's sort of a scenario that we can kind of see. We can kind of understand how that will sort of turn out. And then, right, and then the other princes too, as well. That's fine, right? I would have also thought maybe like, you know, Saleh, but Saleh's dead now, right? So that is. But you know, there are other princes that you know will invite Melody over, probably because either because like they were like, wow, like I'd really like to see this, or they know about Nen and they understand at some level that like this sort of transcendent ability to play music, right? This preternatural ability to play music is related to her Nen ability or her ability to use Nen. Okay, which are two different things, right? The ability to use Nen is like the ability to just use like aura for whatever purposes. Nen ability is like particular Nen ability, right? Like your Hatsu, whatever. So I'm really interested. I'm really interested in seeing where that goes. And when it comes to the stuff with Hulkenberg, that's like again, this is just like it's just sort of a crash course in the fact that it's not enough like right to be like, oh, I need to know what my enemies like abilities are and how they work and and everything like that. But on this ship, what's really important is like understanding how your own abilities work. If you've just unlocked them, or if you don't even really know how Nen works like that, like you gotta like right. Hulkenberg immediately understands that like he's got to play catch up, because if he doesn't play catch up, like he's gonna be right. If he doesn't play that catch up game, he's gonna be in trouble. Your boy gonna be in trouble, right? He's got a wonderful ability, and it's a dope ability, right? In this sort of space that is a succession battle, right? It's a dope ability. It's a very dangerous ability, right? To the others, but he doesn't know enough about his own ability, right? He doesn't know enough about his own ability, right? He doesn't know enough about his own ability, so he's got to figure that stuff out. He's got to figure that stuff out, and like this is really key. You can't go into a Nen battle being like, not only do I not know the abilities of my enemy, but I don't even know how to really utilize my own ability. That's wild. That's like that's not a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for death. Period. Like he would die almost probably immediately. So he's got to figure that out. Your boy doesn't even really know about the four principles or anything like that, right? Your boy can't use Ten, Ren, Zetsu. He can't do none of that. Right? But he's using the Hatsu. He's like, right? He's doing that, but he doesn't even really know how that works. So he's in a place and he like of like ignorance, and he needs to get out of there as quickly as possible. Okay. Because this Hatsu ability that he has, yes, it gives him a really great advantage, but all the other stuff, right, in terms of the Nen ability and everything else, like that puts him at a disadvantage. So he's got to figure that stuff out. Right, and the stuff with Basho and like, you know, them sort of saying, hey, this is what's going on, what's happening, da 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 da. That stuff is like fine, right? It's like, you know, we don't need much from that. And I think we'll get more. The fact that, right? No, that was important. That was important. Hold on. I'm like going through, but like wild stuff. So right, so they went to I can't remember this the prince. Let me look that up. just to make sure that I know like the princes, the name, just why I'm saying that, and the number, because like dude with the let's see. Is it Subepa maybe? Or is it Duazul? I don't know. Maybe it's Subepa. Subepa. Let's see. No, that's not him. That's somebody else. Da 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 da. Hawking Empire. Blah, blah, blah. Just make sure, just to, like, it's always good to refresh your memory, all right? Let's see. His name is Loserus. Okay, Loserus, right? So the seventh prince, right? So it's like gotta, like that was interesting because again, like that gave information to Basho to say like, okay, like what clearly something is going on with clearly something is going on that is now connected to the first prince, right? To first Prince Benjamin. So, and I think they'll probably also figure out that like this ability is also related to eventually they're gonna figure out that like that suicide was like related to Hulkenberg and his Nen ability or Nen Beast ability or whatever. Okay, so that's just like important, just to like just set it down there, just to know that like like now they're on alert, they're on high alert because like when somebody commits suicide in front of your room, like that's not good. That's not good. You know what I mean? Like you got to be on high alert like after that, because and especially if you're a hunter, that like okay, Nen is involved. Now I got to figure out what Nen ability was used. Why was it used in front of my room? Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like things are going to start moving on that end. And I think right and what it does is it puts the seventh prince and Basho and his guards and all those like into sort of motion in terms of the narrative. These things start to move in a certain way, and they have to because they have to like go look into this. They have to figure out what's going on. Why is this stuff happening? So now we're gonna see some more like development with their group, and that's dope. Also, like I'm really looking forward to see what's gonna happen with all of these other princes, right? We're gonna see more of Tyson. We're gonna probably see more of Tyson, Loserus, Zhang Lei, and Tubepa, right? We're gonna see more of them in like in the next like probably like I want to say 6 sort of chapters or so, right? Because like we've seen a lot of Benjamin, Camilla, like we the fourth prince. I'm not even trying to pronounce his name. I can't do it. I just can't. Like I'll figure it out at some point, right? We've seen Benjamin, Camilla, fourth prince, Salasale, Hulkenberg, Kacho and Fugetsu, obviously, right? Momose is dead. All right. Wobble, right? And what's going on around him with Kudapika, Madium, like we've seen a lot of that stuff. So now Tagashi sort of saying, okay, now the other princes are gonna start getting involved. We're gonna start seeing what's going on around them and how they connect with everyone else. And at this point, everyone's gonna like after like obviously the next 6 chapters or something like that, every prince is gonna be like moving. And that's when things are already great, but that's when things are really going to be like, whoa. Every time something happens, we always have to think about what's going on with the other princes and how they're connected. And we kind of already have to do that. But I think later on, it'll be much more, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. It's going to be much more clear that like those are things that we have to pay attention to. We always got to be thinking about these other princes, right? Unless they're like the dead. If they're dead, then they're dead, right? Momose is dead. Salasala is dead. So Kacho is pretty much dead, right? But the Nen Beast shifted their form to look like Kacho, right? And to be Kacho, really. So in some ways, Kacha was still kind of like involved, but in a different sort of sense. But this is the stuff that's really interesting. Right now, I haven't had to think too much about Losers at all. I haven't really had to think too much about Tubepa necessarily. I haven't had to think too much about Tyson, you know, particularly, right? But now, really got to get into it. Really got to start thinking about this stuff. Okay, and what they're doing and how they're connected and da 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 da. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of like this arc. The rest of this like selection battle is gonna be like dope. We already got 3 dead princes, and we're just gonna keep moving on. And I think more and more you're gonna see these princes die like just a bit more quickly, right? I think, you know, if anything, one of the next princes to die might be, you know, one of the ones that maybe we don't care too much about. Maybe Loserus is gonna be the next one to die, right? With the froze, right? Maybe Losers will be the next one to die. Maybe Tyson will be the next one to die. Maybe Tubepa will be the next one to die. Maybe one of the little ones, right? Maybe not Wobble. I think it's gonna be a while before Wobble dies. But Madium, right? Madium, right? Might be the next one to die. So this is gonna be interesting. I think the most interesting thing now is like who's gonna be the next one to die, right? The quicker we get through like the princes that most of us don't care about, the more like, you know, we're gonna be like, oh my goodness, who's gonna be next? How is it gonna happen? Right? And that's where you really you know, if you're anybody who reads Hunter x Hunter, you'll really get to see just that greatness that Togashi utilizes, like, you know, has as a writer. You know, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. Let's see what's going on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is like been 37 minutes. All right, and I'm just gonna get out of here. Well, because I want to do another stream where like I talk about just like what my plans are for sort of the channel, where I'm gonna be going with it. Just tell you about some stuff that I've been reading lately, and something like manga and like other stuff. And then you know, it's just gonna be like a sort of chill stream. It's not gonna be like a manga music stream, but it's just gonna be like kind of like a chill stream, and that's gonna be like next up. All right. A lot of people are sort of talking about One Piece and all that, and that's dope and that's cool. You know, they're having fun with that, and it's great. But you know, I'm gonna keep doing my thing. Hopefully, y'all come through. Should be good. And I'm probably gonna eat for a little bit, and I'm gonna, you know, eat for a little bit, and then I'm gonna like start that stream. All right. So again, thank y'all for coming through. What's good, Amadou? What's good? All right. So again, like I gotta end the stream now, but I think in the next stream, I can talk a little bit about Hunter x Hunter and whatever. You know, it's just gonna be kind of like a chill stream. We'll talk about whatever. So again, thank y'all for coming through. All right. This is my live reaction / initial thoughts to Hunter x Hunter 386. Okay. This to me was a great chapter. It really, really, again, showcases the importance of sort of seeing like the forest for the trees, right? To be able to see like how all of these things are going to be connected. All right. When we move from chapter to chapter, when you reread this stuff, it's like beautifully constructed. Like when you reread this stuff, it's like, wow. The connections are just really great. They're well done. I don't think a chapter's ever wasted. You know what I mean? It's just quality stuff. So I'm really looking forward to like, you know, rereading this stuff like once Togashi goes back on hiatus, because you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna have to. But you know, once he puts out like, you know, the sort of the requisite you know, like the number of like chapters, right? Once he puts out like, you know, maybe 10 chapters or something like that, 9 chapters or whatever, you know, once he's done that and he said, okay, like I've put up the product and I'm gonna go take a rest and do what I need to do to come back, you know, maybe in the next 6 months or maybe a year, depending, you know, he's gonna be doing research and all that stuff and writing and having a good time and living life, right? Because he should be able to do that. So I'm gonna reread everything again, because that's what you do. That's what you got to do with this arc. You got to reread everything again. You got to take in all that information and then come back with a, you know, fresh mind, clear mind, and talk about it. All right. So thank y'all for coming through, y'all. This is a dope stream. I love Hunter x Hunter. I do. And I think sometime soon I'm also going to have like a Hunter x Hunter discussion. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna like invite some people. I'm gonna see who wants to do that, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. If anybody like that's just like that watches these videos wants to join in on that, please do. I'm probably gonna set a date for it. I'm gonna set up like a sort of an event so people know in advance, and I'll just do a random stream. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. All right. Thank y'all for coming through, y'all. I'm the Black Manga Critic, and I'm out, ya.